That's the law of the spirit realm. And you don't only give in church, you give to the poor, you give for societal development. All of that have their benefit. And God designed this because man is evil. Now, after God made this provision, God now moved to the Abrahamic covenant. The Abrahamic covenant also has giving because the lesser is included in the greater. But in the Abrahamic covenant, you don't just give and receive. In addition to your giving, there must be an element of faith. So God will accept your giving only if you believe in Him. If you don't believe in Him, He will not accept your giving. So God has come into the equation. Now, I'm not just interested in you prospering. I'm also interested in your person. And so I want you to know me and to believe in Him. So when God was dealing with Abraham, even though Abraham was giving, what God was looking out for was what? The faith in Abraham's heart. And the way God sealed that covenant was through circumcision. That means He compelled Abraham to deny the world. This is why when the king of Sodom wanted to give Abraham all his possession, he said, I will not take a latchet from you, lest you say you made Abraham rich. So in the Abrahamic order, which is superior to the Noahic order, your giving must be predicated on faith and your circumcision to God. That means in the Abrahamic order, you can't be doing an unjust business and expect God to prosper you. For God to prosper you, you must be an honorable person doing an honorable job, because He's interested in how the money came before you gave in the first place. Are you following? At first, it began with general benevolence, but the idea is to bring you closer. Remember, in 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 3, the Bible said He has given us all things that pertain to life and godliness through the knowledge of Him that called us to what? To glory and virtue. And He said He made us to become partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. And so if we are teaching giving in church now, we will not only stop at the level of Noah, we will shift it to the level of Abraham, that you have to have faith in God, because you can give and not be blessed. Somebody met me and was lamenting. Why was he lamenting? He said he gave 1 million in church. They preached a message, he gave 1 million naira. 4 years later, he lost all his money. So he was wondering, how can he get his money back? Because they taught him giving from the standpoint of Noah. Give, it shall be given unto you. They didn't teach him that now he has come a bit higher, that when he gives, God is looking for his faith. If the faith element is not there, he won't be blessed. And they are also, God is also looking for his circumcision from the world. You can't be doing evil and still give and think God will prosper you. He won't. And the reason is because the moment you accepted Jesus, you implicated yourself. You have come into a higher relationship with God. If you didn't know Jesus, no problem. He would have prospered you because you're operating at the generic level. But now you have accepted Jesus. And so God is dealing with you on a higher standard. This is why you have to learn the whole spectrum. That God won't just bless you now because you gave. God will bless you now because you have faith and because you are separated from the world. And so if you are a thief, the Bible said in Ephesians chapter 4 verse 28, it says, him that stole should steal no more, but walk with his hand that he may have to give. Are you seeing what God is doing? God is trying to win you before He accepts your offering. And then when you leave that level, you now come to the Mosaic covenant. In the Mosaic covenant, God does not only bless you now, God gives you His laws. Because He wants you to understand the culture of Israel. And so for God to accept Israel, they must walk according to the laws of God. You believe in God, that's fine, but keep His laws. If you don't keep His laws, you can't be blessed. And so you find Israel morning and evening, they are bringing sin offering, they are bringing burnt offering, so that because the law becomes the basis for righteousness, and none could keep it. And so God went further to the Davidic covenant. In the Davidic covenant, it was all about relationship. Your level of intimacy with God is what determines your prosperity. So you see that God began from a state where He looked as if He didn't care about your soul. Now He's bringing you deeper. He's demanding faith from you. He's demanding separation from the world. He's demanding obeying His law. He's demanding relationship. Because man couldn't keep it, God now decided to culminate it with the Messianic covenant. And so the Messianic covenant, the Bible said, it has a better set of promises. So what happens in the Messianic covenant is this, which is where I'm going to. in the messianic covenant, Jesus was the one who was in covenant with God. You are not in covenant with God. You are an offspring of that covenant. And so God